Hello, and welcome back to Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. I've been receiving a lot of requests on how to make different items, and like I've said before, I like challenges from the subscribers to challenge me to make different things. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to design the Nike boxes. Now, first of all, if you want an actual shoebox shape, you can download any number of them off of the internet. I just did a Google search for shoebox template, and it gives you every different kind. I didn't even type in Nike, but it gives you every different kind of template that you can use. This is just the overview of all of the images, but you can zoom in on of course the actual page and pick out the one that you want. For those of you who want to use just a pre-made box rather than making your own to save time, I did a search for shiny square box, and it comes up with a gob of different companies that sell the shiny boxes in every size and color. So if you don't want to make your own shoebox, then you can just order it. This one is called Packaging for Less. There's another one, I think it's called ULEAD, that also sells the glossy boxes, or you can get matte boxes. It can be, you can choose any style box you want, but that's all it takes is just a little search on Google or um, Edge, and you can find anything you're looking for. So now I will show you how to make the label. They even had some that free labels where you could just pull it off the internet and superimpose your information over it, which is extremely easy to do. I'm going to show you how to get the logo. I actually showed it in a previous video on changing any template online into one that you can customize, but I'll do one specifically for the Nike boxes since that's what quite a few people have requested. So first of all, I found this one, and it's pretty high res. If you zoom in, you can see it's pretty high res. If it's not wasn't high resolution enough of a high resolution photo, you just type in, before you do your searches. I didn't use it for these because I just wanted to look at it so that I could make it from a site. But whenever you're doing a search for graphics on the internet, always start your search with high res and then whatever you're looking for. High res unicorn, high res Nike symbol, high res Nike logo, or any item you want to make. Just always start your search with high res, and it will bring up the pictures that have the best resolution. Sometimes it will still put some crappy ones in there, but you will get some that have high resolution that you can look through and pick the one that you want to use. Now, when you're searching the internet and you type in the high res and to search for your image, and it brings up a whole page that supposedly is high res. All you need to do is click on the picture that you want to use. If that picture opens up to at least 4 by 6 or larger, then that's a pretty good chance that you're going to be able to make your item look good with that. If it opens up to half page or larger, you're fine, you're all set. It's going to be perfect to use even for like making larger props, like up to maybe 20-30 inches. As long as it opens up to at least half a page of the screen or full page. Those are the ones that are full resolution or higher resolution. The ones that will just open up to, you click on it and it stays the same size, like the size of a stamp, that is going to have horrible resolution. You will not get a good product or a good item made from that. All right, let's move on. I'm going to start by, I can cut out this Nike symbol. It's pretty good. I could probably get a better one, but just for, since I already have this one up, and it's pretty decent. The edges are kind of sharp, pretty sharp. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to Cutout and Picture, Cut Out of Picture by Color Selection. I'm going to just click in each one of these areas, and then since these are joined, they came together. I'm going to click Next, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in its own box. Now that I'm pulling this out, I'm seeing that it has some jagged edges. So I'm going to go and grab a better high-res image of the Nike symbol from the internet. Okay, I went online and I searched for high-res Nike logos, and I found a couple of them. And I have the swatch by itself so that you can use this one to add a name to, which I've shown in the previous video on templates. Or you can use the actual Nike symbol or any other shoe, Swiss Beats. Is it Swiss Beats? I don't know. K-Swiss, not Swiss Beats. K-Swiss or Adidas or Puma or any of those shoe boxes you want to make. All you do is first do a search for that box that you want to recreate, and then you just take a look at it and make your own. Now I'm going to be using this symbol. I can use either one of these symbols. They're pretty much the same. This one just has a little more information on the label, but you can put any information you want on the label. I guess the Air Jordan one looks a little different from the regular one, and I just cropped out or pulled out a few pictures from the internet so that I could see how the label is made. This one has rounded edges. I don't know, some of these might be counterfeit, but anyway, you would just look like these have the rounded edges, so maybe we'll stick with the rounded edge. Alright, so first of all, while I'm on this sheet, I can quickly go ahead and make this label. So I'm going to minimize these right quickly. And the more you practice, this is going to be so easy to do because all this is a series of boxes. So I'm going to go to cutout in picture, add a colored shape. I'll start with the white box. And since I'm using a white box, and if I want it to be the exact same size as this label, all I have to do is put it on that label, shrink it down so that it fits within that label. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can make sure I'm getting the full length of that label in. And then once I get it to the size, the actual size of the label, I'm just going to pull it down, zoom in. I can actually zoom out. And then just resize your square, because when you take it in to cut it out in Cricut, you can resize it to whatever size you would like it to be, but it will have the same dimension as the original label. So now I'm going to cut out that label so I can see it a little better by going to cut out in picture with the cookie cutter shape. I'm going to use a square and I'm just going to put it around that label so I can blow it up and see it better. Hit next. Take the check mark out if it's the first time you've opened up the software for the day. Take the check mark out so that it will stay on this page, and hit done. So now I'm just going to zoom it out a little bit so I can see it better. And remember, my box is here, or my label is here that I'm going to be working on. And I can resize it. And just so I can see where it is for now, I guess I can make it black because I see they have an inner area that's white. So I'll make this black by going to Paint Color Effects, change color. I'll actually click in the actual black of theirs to make the shape. And next I will make a white square. I can either click on this, left click on this one and hit copy and paste above, and then change this to white by going to Paint and Color Effects. Choose color and click in anywhere on the screen that's white. And now I'll bring this down. Now this one has the rounded edges, so I'm going to go ahead before I even make this new one. I'm going to round off these edges. And the way I'm going to round off these edges is simply by making a circle. I'll make it black. There might be an easier way, but this is how I usually do it. I'm going to change it to a different color so I can see it first. And I want to try to mimic the same roundness of those corners, and it's a pretty small area that's rounded off. I'm going to zoom in a little to make sure I'm getting it right in those corners. I could even make it easier by adding some grid lines. So I'm going to go to size and position, alignment guides. I'm going to click vertical twice and click horizontal twice so that I can put it all around the edge of this black box. So I'm going to put each of the vertical ones on each end, and then put the two horizontal ones at the top and the bottom. So grab this last one, bring it down, and I want to make sure that each one is exactly on the edge. Right there, and you can see when it's exactly on the outer edge, you'll see the little lines or the spaces along the line instead of it being a solid line. So that one's good. The top one is good, and now I'll check the bottom one, and they are all good. So now I'm just going to take my red square and I'm going to drop it in that corner. First, I'm going to make enough for all the corners so that I can have the same size. So I'm going to copy that one red, and I'm going to make 3 more. Make sure that these are all the same size, because sometimes it will make it a little bigger, and these look like they're all the same size. So I'm just going to drag each one to a corner, and it's going to just snap to that corner. Just like that. And now I'm going to go back. Actually, I can make 4 more circles by just clicking on paste. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to change all of these to white at the same time. So I just grouped them all. I'm going to go to paint and color effect, change color, and change them all to white. I'll move them down so I can see them. And I'm going to, for the second, I'm going to group them because I want to drag them all of the red ones. So now I have it here on the side. I'm going to grab it, pull it under all the red ones, and then I'm going to ungroup it. And now I'm just going to take one of these and put it, I can move these grid lines out of the way because I don't need them anymore. Because if I keep them there, my new circles are going to keep snapping to the line because it automatically snaps to the line. Let me find where to put my circles. Okay, I have them here. So I'm going to move them right here for now so I can see them. And I'm just going to grab each one, and I'm just going to put it right at the edge of the red so that it rounds off that corner. Now that I have it on every corner, I'm going to click on the first red circle, hold down the CTRL or Control key, click each of the red circles. I'll go ahead and group them together. Now I'm going to go to Paint and Color Effect, fill with a solid color, and I'm going to make them black. So now we have our rounded edges. So instead of keeping this, because see I still have those circles on each corner, so I can get rid of all of that, I'm just going to now just pull just this black rounded edge out. So I'm going to go to cut out in picture, cut out of picture by color selection, and I'm just going to click in the middle of that black circle, hit next and done. And now I have my curved edge. So I'm going to get rid of all of this by just going to the top edge of it, pulling down until I have them all, and then I'm going to hit delete. And now I can take this and make a duplicate of it and change it to white so that I could finish my project. And you see one side of the white one is curved and the other side is flat, and we're gonna do that. So I have my duplicate. I'm gonna change it to white. Oops, that's not quite white. There we go. And I'm gonna put it within that other square, and I'm gonna mimic the positioning of that above label. And if you wanted to, you could do it directly over that label, but I think I got it pretty well. I can eyeball it. Okay, so now we have the label. It looks like the black one was a solid square anyway, but I can easily change that. But I kind of like the way this looks. So if you want to keep the edges rounded, you can. If you want it to be a black square, you can just make another black square and drop it right behind or on top of it, and all of a sudden you'll have your black square again, and then we'll keep the white one for the round white portion of the label. I guess I should have checked that out before I started rounding off those corners, but not actually, because we needed it, the rounded corner one anyway, so we're good. Alright, so now we're just finishing up mimicking this label. So I'm going to make this edge flat like this one. So I'm just going to cut out a picture. We're just going to be using some shapes to get it to what we want it to look like. So now I'm just going to line this up with the top edge of this rounded square or rectangle, and this way we'll have one end that's solid or flat and one end that's rounded. See if that lines up. If it doesn't, I can bring my horizontal line back up and get it perfect. Let's see, that should be good. Alright, and I'm just going to go ahead and group the white square that I put over here and the rounded edge together. So I'm just going to go to the edge, and then I'm just going to stop when I get past the white portion, and I'm going to group that. Or we could, once again, if we want to save memory, go into cutout and picture, cut out of picture by color selection, and we can pull out that white square, and then we can get rid of the bottom. Alright, so now this is one piece, and the black area is also one piece. Or did I make that one piece? I'll delete that one. Oops. Okay, and then I'll get rid of the rounded edge black one. Now we're just dealing with two pieces, the white one and this one. Now, just going to scroll up some, and they have the Jordan symbol here. I don't think I downloaded a high-res Jordan symbol, but I can get one right quickly. So I just went to the internet right quickly, found this Air Jordan symbol by typing in high-res Air Jordan logo, and now I'm just going to cut this out. And it's great when you have a contrast like this, where it's solid color on a solid color, because it makes it so easy to cut it out. You don't have to do any fancy cropping. Just go to cutout and picture, cut out a picture by color selection. We use this a lot. Click one time, leave it on 2. You would make sure to get the full black edge. Now I'm going to delete the original symbol, and I'm going to bring Jordan down and drop him in this corner. For now, I need to change him to white, because now I'm going to make this black rectangle again. I can just click on the one I already have because it's already the right shape. Hit copy, paste, and then I'm just going to leave room for the bar symbol, the universal code here. I'm going to mimic the distance. It's less more distance up here than it is at the bottom, and I'm going to do the same thing with my label, and then just bring this over to mimic that part of the label. I'm going to click here on the right side, left click on Jordan and slide him up one level, and then I'm going to go to Paint and Color Effect and change him to white. So Paint and Color Effect, fill with a solid color and change him to white. And I'm just going to drop him down in this corner to basically mimic what it is up here. I can even put it up here to make sure I'm getting it the exact right proportions, and drop him back down here in the corner. Now to make these white lines, and then of course you can put whatever you want in them, all you're going to do is make a white square by going to Cutout and Picture, add a colored shape, change it to white, hit done. I'm going to, since I have this pretty much lined up with that one, I'm going to just line this up still with this line in the original label, and I'm going to bring this down, this white rectangle, so that I'm in this white area but not touching the black beneath, so that I can make my line here. And once I have it there, I'm just going to slide this over by clicking on it and dragging it toward the left until I have that line here. Now I can keep this same line, hit copy, paste, drag it down over here by Jordan, and do the same thing, put it in the white. Now I need this one shorter, so because it's so hard to grab this middle part to shrink it, I just widened it a little by pulling out from this quadrant marker on the right side, and I'm going to get it to the height I need it to be, which is about right there, and then I'll just shrink it back down again until it matches my other line. It's a little thick, so I'm just going to click on it and bring it in a little more. Now I need two lines going across. So once again, I'm going to hit 1 and 2, and I'm just going to group them together so that they'll be the same. I'm going to close the puzzle piece. I'm going to drag it out, bring it down. My first line is I'm going to put it a little bit in this white area, and then I'm going to take it all the way across to that portion. I'm going to bring it up some so that it mimics the one above. Actually, this one needs to be a little closer, and Jordan needs to move over a little bit. If you want it to be completely exactly like the label above, all you do is build it or superimpose it over this label as you're building it, putting it together. Alright, so that looks about right. Now I'm going to make my line. And I'm going to try to keep these all the consistent same width or close to it. Move this over some so that it's inside of this line and inside of this area, and that looks about right. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to bring this line down a little so that it's inside of that line. I don't want anything sticking over or showing over. And then I'm going to shrink it down again to mimic the other lines. This one still looks a little thick. So I'm going to just shrink it down just a little bit. Oops. I need to get a mouse pad. That's why it's not as it's sliding all around when I try to resize. I need a mouse pad, but I didn't really feel like working with one right now. And now all we're going to do is ungroup these lines and put them where we need them. So I already have my second line here. I'm just going to move it up. And of course, you know, you can add as many lines as you want in case you want to have more or less information. All you do is add more of these white lines, or you don't have to have any of the white lines. You could leave this one off and just fill this whole area with information. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit just so that I can try to make sure I'm getting it to about all of these to about the same thickness. And I think that looks good. So now all we need to do is add the UPC code on this side and we'll be done. So I'm just going to grab a UPC code, and I just once again did the high res, typed high res UPC code and clicked on images and found this one. I wanted one that was kind of long to mimic this one, and as you can see, this one has numbers on it. We're going to cut that off, but if a lot of times on like the magazines and on some of the logos or the UPC codes you might use on your other items, people like to put like the date of the wedding or the date of the birthday or some type of message within the numbers. I'm just going to mimic this one that has no numbers. So I'm just going to go to cut out in picture, cut out a picture with the cookie cutter shape. And I'm just going to resize this square into a rectangle and just cut out. I could cut it right in the middle if I wanted to, because these are just lines and I could stretch them out to whatever length I want. So I'll do that. So I'm just going to get that section. I'm going to delete this lower, the original one. And now I'm just going to rotate this by going to size and position, rotate it left, hit done, and then I'm just going to put it down in the area that I need it and stretch it so that it looks similar to that one. And where they have the size here, you could put like 12th birthday or first anniversary or you know, somebody's wedding, whatever, however you want to do that, of course. So now that's how you would make the Nike label for the information you want to add. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this out, or I can save it like it is and just take it to a new page. I think I'll do that, because then that way if I decide to make one of these, which I haven't had anybody that wanted one yet other than people who are requesting to make one, so I'm going to just make a blank sheet and I'm going to click on the sheet where I have that label and I'm just going to drag it up and drop it on the new page, and then I'll save that in picture it format so that if I ever need to go in and make any changes or take out some of these lines, I can do that. I'll ungroup it, and I'm just going to save this as the Air Jordan label, or I can also add a red one using these same the same features. I'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to just group this again and copy it so that I'll have the red one as well on the same page, and then I can save them both as my templates to use whenever I want. And it doesn't matter how big or small I make them on this page, because when you take it into Cricut, then you'll make it to the right parameters that you need. So I'm going to just bring up this red box right quickly so I can mimic that label right quickly. Oh, wrong box. I want this one. So now I'm just going to turn this into that label. So I'm going to unlock it. I need the square, a white square since this one is all square. So I'm going to go to cut, I'm going to delete that first one. I'm going to go to, I actually have enough squares here. So what I'll do is just delete all these extra lines that I don't need from this one. And then the line that I keep, I will make it into the label. So I have this one left. I can get rid of Jordan here and any of the rest of the stuff on here. There we go. And I'm going to just line this one up like that label is. And once again, I'm just eyeballing this. Now this one actually has numbers, so this might be one. If you want it to look more authentic, you can go ahead and add the numbers to it. And since this label is white, just so I can see it, I'm going to go ahead and change it. First, I'm going to change this one to red. So I'm going to click on this white area. I'm going to go to Paint and Color Effects, Fill with a Solid Color, and I'm just going to click in that box so I can get the Nike red color. Or you can make it to match any box you want if you decide to use a different box than red. And then I'm going to, actually, all I have to do is add text boxes. And also, I could have done that to this one, but all you do is click on text, add text, and this looks like just a regular Arial font. So I'm just going to click in my font box. I'm going to type an A, and then I'm going to scroll down to Arial. It's already bold. I'm going to make a 7.5, or you can make it, of course, to anything you want. Change it to white. And I'll put it here. And then I'll make a new text box of white. And you can just set these up so that you can type what you want in it later. But you can have it already set up like this original box. So I'm going to try to get the sizes about pretty similar. And then you'll already have your boxes ready. I can just copy this one and make several of them to make the rest of the information. And then you can resize these to any size you want. I'm going to group the three of them. I didn't click the puzzle piece because all I want to do is shrink them all down. And now you can just put these wherever you need them based on your other label. And if you need less, if you want to use less information, if you just want to make this a big label announcing a wedding, then you can delete some of these boxes. But all you have to do is put them where you want them and type what you want in them. Change the font if you like, whatever you'd like to do. So now I'm going to go ahead and change this black outline to white by going to fill with a solid, Paint and Color Effects, fill with a solid color. I'm going to click on the white, and you can leave it like that because you know it's there, but I just like to put a shadow around it for now so that I can see the difference, and then when I'm ready to use the label, then I can either remove the shadow or leave it on, depending on what I decide I want to do about it. But this just shows me where my edges are. So now we have two labels. I can delete this one, and I'll save this. I'll save both of these, as I can actually put some of these text boxes up here. And then they can be resized to any size I want. And that way they're ready to design. You have your templates all set up, including the text boxes. And all you have to do is put your text in there. This, I think, was a number, so I'll just make it a number so it'll be easier to remember what goes where. And now you have these both set up to make your Nike boxes with. And we can go back to the Nike symbol. And I have this one already with the swish, so all you'd have to do for this one is cut this Nike symbol out by going to cut out of picture by color selection. Click on a couple of the letters, and then this one's joined, so it pulls it all out. Hit next and done. And since we have air here, just in case you want to use the air symbol, we'll go ahead and cut that out separately from the Nike and the swish. We'll go to cut out in picture, cut out of picture by color selection, and then we'll just click in each one of these letters, hit next and done. Now we'll delete the bottom, and then we can change these to any color we want. Change it to black, change it to white, change it to any shade that you want. And all you have to do for these is, once again, save it as a JPEG. For now, save it just as a picture file, but when you're ready to cut it out and make your boxes, you just save it as a JPEG, upload it into Cricut, resize it to the size that you want it to be, depending on which size box you're using, and you're good to go. Now, I'll show you how to personalize just the slash alone. Once again, I'm going to go to cut out in picture, cut out of picture by color selection. I'm going to pull that slash out by just clicking in the middle of it because it's in a white background and I just want the slash by itself. Hit next and done. Then I'm going to get rid of the one beneath that has the white edge by right clicking here in the right column. I'm going to right click. The menu comes up. I'm going to choose delete. So now I just have this swish. I'm going to make a new page. Drag that swish up. For this one, you would save that as just your master. So you'd save this as a picture file. Just go to save as, give it a name, and hit save, and it's done. So let's say I wanted to put someone's name on it. I'm going to make it larger. And if you look at the Nike writing, it just looks like, I'll pull it up just so I can compare it when I add a name. And let's see, just choose a name and make a text box. Change it to whatever color your slash is. I think I'm going to change it to Arial Black because this is thicker. I'm going to smash it a bit because the letters are kind of, and I need to italicize because they're italicized. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type Nike for now because I want to line, I want to line my Nike up with that Nike to see how close I'm coming to this one. And as you can see, it looks almost exact. I'm telling you, nobody will notice the difference when they're looking at it because it's going to look like it's the real deal. So I'm going to bring it down, and even though you know that this isn't the same, but if I put it in the same position as the one above, it's going to be difficult to tell them apart. I'll shrink this one down. So even though this writing is a little thinner, it's still, if someone just saw mine, I'm going to delete this one. If someone just saw mine on the page, they would think that was the Nike symbol. But now if you want to change this to another name, just right click on it hit edit text and type in the new name. Now, of course, this works better with a short name, but I'm going to make it with my own name. So if you want to personalize it in this way, once again, save this as your template, and then if you want to switch it to anybody else's name, you can easily do that. Javik, Kathy, whatever you want. Of course, it looks better, like I said, with the smaller names, but it still looks good regardless. So that's how you make all of the elements you need for your Nike shoebox. If you're going to purchase the box, you're all set to go. Thank you for stopping by Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. Please don't forget to leave a like, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to be notified as soon as I have new videos posted, just hit the bell and you'll be notified. I'll see you next time.